Maybe... Okay, so what I think is that we probably can choose from a list of different couples that we want to bring together. And that's how the story, like, the story branches out. That could be a thing. Also, by the way, I don't know if there are multiple different kinds of endings, or if it all conglomerates to, like, to one ending. I would love if everything goes to, like, one ending, but you can choose, like, which couples you bring together, you know? Maybe that's how they are gonna approach this. Could be a thing. The two I'd met yesterday were waiting for me when I come up to the roof with my lunch. They didn't hesitate to call out to me. In the end, I hadn't really been able to make up my mind. I'd turned it over and over in my head, and it hadn't gotten me anywhere. Eventually, I asked myself, what do I do now? And remembered what Hina had said. Yeah. I'll just do it! If it doesn't go well, I'll worry about it then. After all of my thinking, what tipped the scales was the look on that girl's face and the words Hina had said to me. Oh, let's hear it. Spies from the shadows, dead by daylight. The guardian angel. Just a little push down the stairs. Alright. Every day, all day. So Wednesdays are off limits, so that means that that we have some couple stuff there then, I guess? Maybe. The two of them clung to each other and leapt for joy. Well, I suppose they never had anyone who could see or hear them before. Looking at their happy faces seemed to lift a bit of the weight off of my chest. That's wholesome. Let's go. Any school for that matter. Well, that sounds reasonable, and I'm sure she really feels that way. It's not a bad thing to want, not at all, but why does it have to be romance between girls? Though I suppose that's inevitable considering the circumstances that led to these two becoming guests. Nurture them! Exactly as I thought. Maybe give her a push too? Yeah, it seems like she's bound to the rooftop, by the way. Megumi, that is. Wow, there are more girls like these two here. How are they finding them anyway? I don't get the stuff at all. Girl romance or these two guests. But Let's. Alright. I'm in. Alright, calm down. Okay. So I thought, but the two guests were already celebrating in front of me. Okay. I didn't know what to say. Just shout it along. They might think you're crazy though, because no one can see them besides us. Just go with the flow, bang with the jam, zig with the zack, get the Bozak. Oh, we have a cherry. What does a cherry mean again? Let's find out. Couple, Saint 1. Wait, what's the cherry from the girl's perspective? Shiroyo, Shiroyo. Kokoro Tsuboshi girls, a girls' school in a castle. Ah, yeah, okay, so it's from her point of view, I guess. Even before I took the exams, I admired Kokoro Tsuboshi's girls' private academy of commerce, and since the entrance ceremony, I've pretty much been on cloud 9. The esports team? I mean, I've always wanted to go there. The uniforms are cute, and better than that, it's a school built on the side of an old castle. I'm like super excited just by that. I'm so glad I put all that effort into my studies. The 2 edition made my mom a little nervous, but my dad and brothers had my back. Thanks dad, thanks brothers, I owe you guys one. I mean, it's a school in a castle, you know. Who cares that it's a little far from the station? The walk up the hill kind of wears you out though. Yeah, I can imagine. The campus is beautiful and the Hoshikan is just so cute. It doesn't matter that it's a little old. It's fun just changing my shoes in the entrance way in the morning. And I haven't been there yet, but the inner building behind the Hoshikan is wood framed, and it's super charming too. I also want to go inside the Kumomiyagura lodging house next to the auditorium where we had the entrance ceremony sometime. It's like they've just stuck new buildings onto the old ones. I can see why my dad liked it so much. He laughed at me for choosing a school for its architecture, saying I really must have been the daughter of a contractor, but it's just that great. What do you want from me? Those were the high spirits I carried into the school with me, and today I was a little lost because of the school buildings I so admired of all things. Oh, speaking of which, apparently this is the lead up to yeah. So this is the lead up to when Yuki is her name, was helping us out. So it's a little bit like structured like Ju on the Grudge, because we play to that certain day when Yuki helped us, and then we see it from the point of view of the other characters. I love it. Where is this reference room? Yes, I couldn't find the reference room. It wasn't bad that I'd greeted my homeroom teacher when I saw her in the hallway before leaving. Yep, greetings are a good thing. She'd been carrying a large box in her arms. I'd actually been excited when she asked me to take it to the reference room for her. It meant I'd get to walk around the school after all. And the box in question wasn't really that heavy. It was a bit of an armful, but it probably wasn't even 5 kilos. However, where is the reference room? I had no idea where this reference room actually was. I mean, I'd found a reference room quickly enough. There was one on the same floor as my classroom after all. But my homeroom teacher had told me not to put it there. Then where? My teacher had already gone off somewhere else. I didn't think that there were any other reference rooms. At least, that was the only one on our school map. What should I do? Should I go to the faculty room and ask there? That was probably a good idea, but having been entrusted with the task, I didn't like the idea of having to go back for help. I don't even know where to start. Geez, what do I do? And right when I sighed, I heard from behind me. Is something the matter? A voice, a very gentle sounding voice. Well. She was there when I turned around. A third-year senpai in a green skirt. She seems to be just as unsure as she is. Yes, senpai was there. I don't know how to describe it. Meeting her was like fate. Yes, you'd normally think to go to the reference room on the first floor of the Hoshikaden building, wouldn't you? Aihara senpai had said with a laugh. Aihara Miki's senpai, the kind third year who heard my sigh of frustration and responded with compassion. I asked for assistance as soon as she addressed me. Where am I supposed to take this? She kindly asked me to elaborate. She didn't seem disturbed at all when I was too flustered to explain properly. But then when I took it there, she said that wasn't the right place, so I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. That's not your fault, Maki-san. You've only just started school here, right? Right. After I gave her my name, my class, and my ID, and what I'd been asked to do, she told me her name and said she'd show me where I was supposed to go. Thank goodness she was a kind senpai. There's another reference room in the inner building, though I suppose you might call it a storage room, really. But the teachers who've been here longest might still refer to it as a reference room now and then. Ah, I see. The inner building, I get to go to the inner building, my hot sword. I hadn't found an excuse to go there yet, since only third years have classes there, but I was really excited I'd finally get to see it. It was perfect, and this nice senpai was going to take me there. Are you okay carrying that? I could hold it for you. Nah, I'm totally fine. Actually, I'm pretty strong. I'm a man. Are you? Looks like it. I'll take you there now then. Alright, thank you. Sorry that took so long. Ah, that's fine, I answered. But inside I was rather impressed, stunned even. We'd finally arrived at the inner building and it hadn't been a simple trip. There were a lot of requests today. How do I say this? Aihara senpai is like amazing. Every few steps we took, someone would call out to her, and they all had some kind of favor they had to ask. People asked her to deliver messages, provide assistance to do something because the fence was wobbling or some shelf was broken. What's with this senpai? Why are so many people asking her to do things? Ah, okay, she's a yes sayer, so she can't say no to basically anything. With each request, senpai would make a note for herself or even take care of it right away, right then and there. She apologized each time since we had to go out of our way for each request. I'm trying to prioritize showing you to the reference room as much as possible, but it's fine, I'm bothering you just as much as everyone else. Now it's no bother to show a new student around. She said smiling, wow, so cool! I definitely would have lost my patience before we made it halfway there. I mean, people were even asking her stuff they could easily do on their own. Yeah, they're fucking lazy. I thought she was being asked a few too many favors, but the way she took notes or finished them on the spot real quick was super cool. She just had this air of competence. It's just a little farther. The old reference rooms are the 3 at the end of this hallway. They are used for storage now. Okay. She said to take it to the innermost reference room. I see. That's the room that's used the least. That wasn't very nice of your homeroom teacher. She should have told you where it was. She seemed pretty busy, I guess. Well, yeah. Used the least, it did look like that. Definitely. I could smell the dust even as we opened the door and see it everywhere when we turned on the lights. Did she say where to put it? No, I don't think so. Let's put it in the corner then. There's some room for it on that shelf. Why don't you leave it there? Alright. I stepped into the room with some energy, excited to finally complete the task I'd been entrusted with, and that I'd figured out where the reference room actually was. The space senpai had indicated was at about chest height. I took careful steps over there, making sure to keep the box clear of any obstacles. There we go. I hoisted the box to my chest and shoved it onto the shelf. And that's that. When I turned around, Aihara senpai was looking at me as if she were a little surprised. You're really stronger than you look, Maki-san. I was worried it was a little heavy, but you lifted before I could offer any help. I'm confident in my strength. According to my dad and my brothers, it's charming that I'm strong at my size. Though I'm not sure if I should be happy about that. Thank you so much, Aihara-senpai. You're welcome. Oh, wait a moment, Maki-san. Aihara-senpai stopped me before I could leave the reference room. There's dust all over your left arm. You must have brushed past something. Ah, you're right. Now that you mentioned it, I noticed the light coating of dust on the left sleeve of my blouse, which is a word I fucking hate, by the way, and some even scattered on the on the hem of my vest. It looked like I brushed something, just like Aihara-senpai had said. Man, it's embarrassing. It's not. I hurriedly tried to pat the dust off, but senpai gently brushed my hand away. Well, I got heated quick. Oh, we get voice. Why do we get voice acting now, but not before? Oh well. It wasn't as if she'd grabbed my hand or anything. She just brushed it slightly. Yet I was frozen still. Maybe get out of the room first? I stood still in front of senpai as she removed a handkerchief from her pocket. Take notes first, she said, bringing the cloth against my sleeve. She took my hand, gently lifted my arm, and wiped the dust from my blouse. Fucking hate that word. I could feel the handkerchief sliding down my arm with the movement of senpai's hand. Senpai's face was inches from mine, only a little above it. Her expression made her look so much more grown up than I felt. She was looking down at my arm, and the way her eyes narrowed ever so slightly was just beautiful somehow. She looked so mature. Take note, she looks a lot different, by the way, now in this image. It's the same word in Japanese. I'm gonna lose my mind. Jesus Christ. She was even taking time to worry about my blouse. She's amazing. Her fingers were so slender and pretty, and her handkerchief had a cute little design and was folded so neatly. And wait, her handkerchief? And also, why in the hell do you think she has it in the first place? She said, laughing a little, and I was frozen again. So I just stood still and watched senpai gently wipe the dust from my clothes. It was all I could do. That whole time. I felt like my heart was throbbing through my entire body, and my face was strangely hot. How did it take so long to get some dust off of the sleeve, though? Well, I know, that's the thing, by the way. I know the word storage room, but it's the first time I actually heard of a reference room. I nodded, still kind of spaced out, but still feeling the pounding of my heart. Until after I thanked senpai and said goodbye, I didn't miss a single beat. Like a good rapper. Never miss a beat. Okay, so that's the backstory. Oh, yeah, that's in April? Okay. What's that? Oh, yeah, that was that, and that was that. So we get the first story about that. That's Saint 2, yeah. So that's the second encounter, basically, and wait, she said she was waiting since 2 weeks, Monday, I think? So, yeah, it happened right here. So she started waiting across the hallway around here, or before the classroom. And that's a Friday. So yeah, we get a little bit more backstory about that. Let's go. So that's Friday. Let's see. That horrible, I don't even know her name anymore, song. Friday, Friday. The day after that encounter, I started my exploration of the school in earnest, Hemingway, in order to find Aihara Senpai, of course. Though it was difficult for a first year like me to just stroll into the inner building where the third year classrooms were. I wandered around the campus whenever I could, meaning mostly during lunch and after school. And my enthusiasm was quickly rewarded, but I'd have to say it was simply because Aihara Senpai was walking around the school even more than I was. And she was always taking care of some errand for someone. It was nice that I found her so quickly, but when I saw how busy she always was, I couldn't bring myself to stop her to thank her. But more than that, whenever I found her, my face would get hot and my heart would start to beat like crazy for some reason. I could barely stop myself from running off somewhere, let alone bring myself to speak to her. And while this went on for a while, I gradually became aware of more and more of Senpai's amazing qualities. I learned her name that day, Aihara Miki Senpai. It's a wonderful name. It's a cool one. I knew that she was a third year. She hadn't told me what class she was in, but it hadn't taken me long to find that out. In any case, what I'm trying to say is that Senpai is basically famous. The vice president of the beautification committee. The beautification committee is in charge of maintaining the tools and equipment of the school. In other words, the members are expected to do a little of everything. Aihara Senpai is an especially famous member for accepting any task and completing them all with speed and efficiency. She's even been nicknamed the Saint of Shirosho. A saint, how cool is that? I remember Senpai being asked all sorts of favors that day, big ones and small ones. And she took care of them, either completing them on the spot or writing them down for later without a single word of complaint. I bet she did a whole bunch more after we parted too. And I learned something else while I was walking around the school looking for her. Her name's even begun to reach the first years like me who only started here a few days ago. Senpai turned out to be a really amazing person. Turned out, apparently she always was. That was it? For that day? Alright, that was very quick. That's what she said. And that's when she found her class. I guess that's when she found the classroom. What do we have here? Okay, the CG for okay. So it's different for every month. So we have a lot going on in May, and also a lot apparently going on in April as well. Maybe the same amount of CGs for everything, and we haven't unlocked any of those. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's probably when she found the classroom, and then you know. Didn't have the chance to actually get into the classroom to present the letter. The second Monday after that day, I met Aihara Senpai. About 2 weeks since I started walking around the school trying to find her. I finally, after school, written it. My bag was in my hands, but I dropped my head onto the desk. Inside my bag was the letter I'd stayed up last night writing. I started writing it because I wanted to properly thank her. That's right, I'd been planned on finding her somewhere in school and thanking her in person, but that had proved nearly impossible to do. So I thought I could at least write a letter to express my gratitude. Why then? Why did I write that I wanted to meet her in person so I could tell her something? For some reason, I had written that. And that letter was inside my bag right now. It's almost like this is a love letter, isn't it? How I ended up like this. I've started the letter with thank you very much for the other day. But for some reason, I'd started listing all of Senpai's amazing qualities. And I'd written that I hadn't been able to speak with her in person since then too. At the end, I'd finished with please meet with me so I can tell you my feelings. Doesn't this mean, yeah, basically. She read this letter and think I like her. No, that's fine. I mean, I guess I really do like her, but it's like admiration or something, right? It's that kind of like, right? Or did I write this letter because I've fallen for her? I don't know. Maki-san, I'm going... there we go. There we have the connection. Maki-san, I'm going to practice. See ya. Yeah. My head snapped up when someone suddenly said my name. When I looked towards the voice, I saw Komano-san staring back from the Seat next to me, a surprised look on her face. Sorry, were you sleeping? Did I wake you up? Oh no, I was awake. Practice, right? Do your best. Kamano-san, she's been in a tracksuit every day since the entrance ceremony. Well, the school is pretty lax about dress code. Apparently, yeah. And it's not like she's wearing her own clothes since it's school issued. The teachers haven't really gotten on her case about it. Is it because she's on a track team? She sorta stands out. We sit next to each other, so we tend to have short exchanges like this when we're leaving or whatever. Nope, right now I need to worry about this letter. What should I do? I mean, it's already written down. I just have to get Senpai to read it, right? I don't care about what I ended up writing in it. The point is that I've written it, so now I want Senpai to read it. I don't care what she'll think about me afterwards. I just want her to read it. But should I give it to her? You don't even find her, is the thing. I can't just hand it to her. I'm sure I'd get too nervous to do that. Should I go to the traditional route and leave it in her shoe locker? Nope, that wouldn't work. The lockers here don't have doors, so everyone would find out the minute I left it there. But they wouldn't take it if it's someone else's shoe locker. Maybe some idiot would. Then what? I thought, whoop, damn it. How do I get back? Is that going back? Oh, that's going all the way back. Gotcha. Alright. So let's just skip to the part that we haven't read yet. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I thought and came to a conclusion. I'd sneak into Aihara Senpai's classroom when she wasn't there to put the letter in her bag or in her desk. But it's in the inner building. I'm kinda nervous. The inner building only has third-year classrooms. Naturally, the only people in the hallways were third years too. It was intimidating for a first year like me who just started school a few weeks ago to wander there alone. But I worked up the courage and walked straight toward Aihara Senpai's classroom. I already knew which desk was hers. The fourth from both the front and the window. It's also pretty scary that it's right in the middle of the classroom. I took a stealthy glance into the classroom. There are people in there. Inside were four third years sitting right next to Senpai's desk talking about something. Oh, come on, why are there people here? Well, it wasn't particularly strange for them to be there. They appeared to be happily chatting about this or that. Oh, they had snacks laid out too. It's gonna take a while. It doesn't look like they're leaving anytime soon. I decided to wait for an opening. But the third years kept talking on and on. They were making no move to leave. What should I do? I couldn't just stroll in and put the letter in Senpai's desk with a bunch of people watching. Well, technically you could. And what if she came back while I was standing outside waiting? I wouldn't be going through all this trouble if I were able to just give her the letter directly. I came here because I can't do that. I guess I should give up for today. My timing just happened to be off. Thinking that, I reluctantly walked away from Senpai's classroom. Tomorrow, I'll leave the letter there. So I decided. Do we get the next day too? Or maybe it skips a couple of days? Okay. But that decision didn't end up bearing fruit. Neither on the next day nor the day after that. Someone always stayed behind in Aihara Senpai's classroom after school. Sometimes the same people as the first day, sometimes different people. They'd be chatting or changing or studying. One senpai had been there herself doing some work and I'd spun around and run off right then and there. Ugh, how come there's always someone in there? It wasn't as if I had a grudge against the people staying behind, but I wanted to complain to them. Why are you still here when you don't need to be? And like that, Golden Week came and my letter was still undelivered. My holidays were spent feeling frustrated at home. Alright. So that should clear up April for her, I guess. Yep, we have something new here, and that's probably, yep, Saint 4. So that's from her point of view. It's basically like Drew on the Grudge, the movies, where it's also from different points of views. The Monday after the holidays. I headed to Aihara Senpai's classroom, determined to succeed at my task. I headed there, but... Damn it, I wanted to go with my Arditha impression again with ah. I should have been used to it by now, but the disappointment still stung. I must have gotten my hopes up during the holidays. There was a group of third-year students in the classroom again today. I knew each of their faces by now. This group often stayed after school to chat. And right next to Senpai's Seat.
無理だろうな。今日もお菓子広げてるし。はあ、今日もダメなのかな。
And that's when
この手紙早く渡したいのに。早く先輩に読んでほしいのに。
really, I really want Senpai to read my letter. I want her to see my words and to understand my feelings. Because if I never convey them to her, they might wither and fade away. No.
何かこの気持ちが間違っていたって思っちゃいそうなんだもん。
I've made up my mind to succeed this time.
神様って何？
As my face started to waver and I thought of going home,
ちょっと誰か！校舎の中に犬が入ってきてる！
I heard a sudden shout from down the hallway.
犬？
That sort of thing happens here too. And when I thought to leave and check it out, the door at the other end of the classroom sprang open. A dog? Seriously? Where? The people inside were leaving, trying to find a dog. Yeah, on the roof. They passed right by me, not even taking note of me, and walked off in the direction the voice had come
こ
from.
れって大チャンス？
I hurriedly peeked into the classroom. It was empty. Yes. I opened the door. This is my only chance. I have to be quick and quiet.
先輩の席。
I could never mistake it. I beelined across the room.
どっちに手紙入れよう？
In the desk. Her bag was there too. Where should I put it? In her desk? In her bag? In the bag? In the bag? Which would she notice first? The bag? Yes.
先輩、ちょっとごめんなさい。
I pulled open the zipper on her bag as far as I needed and stuffed the letter inside before immediately closing it tight. Yes! Mission accomplished. I feel sorta like a spy. Oh, I have to get out of here. They might come back. I ran back out of the classroom. And carefully shut the door. Then I ran through the halls. It makes it even better with that expression for sure. My face might catch on fire. I finally left my letter. That letter, the one I want Senpai to read. Will Senpai realize it was from me? Does she remember me? Will she recognize my name? And
書いてあること、ちゃんと読んでくれるかな？読んだらどう思ってくれるんだろう？
she won't be creeped out, will she? I asked her to meet me on the roof after school on Thursday. Will she come? My mind was swimming with worries, but more than that, at that moment, yeah. I was happy, so happy I thought I might cry. I finally took the first step towards expressing my feelings to Senpai. Goody! Yeah, we did good. We did good. For shizzle. So now, I would assume we can either go see how that pans out. I was about to say, or go with another quest, on another quest with her, with Yuki, but nope. We see how it pans out.